This is the Irregular Pioneer Channel. I'm your host, Matt. Thank you for joining me for another episode. So before I get started, I just want to give a shout out to one of my homegirls. We have a mutual friend and she started her ex-JW channel. I'm going to post the link for her video in the description for this video. Please take a look at it. It's her ex-JW story, and I'm very happy to see more people telling their stories. The more people that come out and tell their stories, whether it be on YouTube, in print, in books, however you do it, please tell your stories. Get people to understand the cult that Jehovah's Witnesses are and help people to heal, help people to understand that there are other people like them out there. There are other people that understand their stories and have gone through the things they've gone through. So please take a look at her video. You're going to enjoy it, and thank you for supporting her. Now, today what I wanted to talk about was the new law in New York State, the New York Child Victims Act. This is a groundbreaking law, and what it allows is for survivors of child abuse and child sexual abuse to file a case against their abusers in any institution that has allowed abuse to go on. Unsurprisingly, Jehovah's Witnesses have been hit with cases already. Now, this law was signed February 14th, 2019, this year, and it went into effect yesterday, August 14th, 2019. Now, just to discuss a few specifics of this law, what it does is it extends the statute of limitations for minor crimes from 23 years to 25 years. It also allows a 1-year window for certain victims to get justice in court. So, if you were already 23 years of age when the bill was signed on February 14th, 2019, you have a 1-year window to still get justice in court. Furthermore, survivors can file a civil case against their abusers in any institution that has allowed the abuse, no matter how old they are or how long ago the abuse was. That's very, very important. Also, the window for this is from August 14th, 2019, that's yesterday, going to August 13th, 2020. Very important detail here as well. You do not have to be a New York resident to file a civil case against the governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses. Why? Their headquarters are in New York. So, you do not have to be from New York to file that case. If you feel that you have been abused and you deserve justice, and you would like to file a case, whether it be in the court or a civil case for financial reasons, you can file a case against the governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses. It has already been done. The first case has been filed against the governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses, and this is groundbreaking. This is very important because the governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses, if you've been following my channel, you know that they have been completely impotent when it comes to protecting children against child sexual abuse. And their response, even in their recent Watchtower that tried to cover the issue, was disgustingly dismissive and truly not up to par with people who claim to abhor child sexual abuse and protect children against it. And if you haven't already, please check out my video and also other ex-JW YouTubers' videos on that disgusting Jehovah's Witness article that just pushed this idea of child sexual abuse happening in the organization to the side. I'd also definitely suggest ex-JW Analyzer's video on the article as well. I mean, it's just terrible what they did in that article. The propaganda was disgusting, but as we can see, people are not falling for it. Many Jehovah's Witnesses, active Jehovah's Witnesses, believing Jehovah's Witnesses, are talking about these cases. I've spoken to people who are active Jehovah's Witnesses, and other ex-Jehovah's Witnesses have as well, and they're hearing that Jehovah's Witnesses are talking about these cases. Part of the reason is because it's getting a lot of play in mainstream media. I've seen the story on Newsweek, CNN, NBC, CBS. People are talking about what is going on inside the Jehovah's Witness organization, and it's important. Because the average person, unless they were part of the organization, they just don't understand what goes on in the organization and how easy it is for a child to be taken advantage of in the Jehovah's Witness organization. So I'm happy to see that there is getting some serious coverage, and I'm happy to see that these cases are being filed, and certainly we want to see justice for all of the victims of child sexual abuse, not just from Jehovah's Witnesses, but from other organizations like the Catholic Church, Boy Scouts, numerous other churches. But as an ex-Jehovah's Witness, I certainly want to see justice for these victims, and I want to see big reforms in the Jehovah's Witness organization. Even though I'm no longer a member and I'm never going to be ever again, I want to see those who choose to be Jehovah's Witnesses have them be safe, have their children be safe. No one should have to worry about the safety of their child, especially when they're going to a place of worship. Now, something else on this topic of Jehovah's Witnesses and child sexual abuse. Jehovah's Witnesses have petitioned the United States Supreme Court because they feel that their religious freedom is being infringed on. So the Jehovah's Witnesses lost a case in California. And long story short, I'll post the link to some articles also about this topic in the description for this video. But Jehovah's Witnesses, they want to do something that if you are active Jehovah's Witness or ex-Jehovah's Witness, you probably think sounds insane. They want to use a protection that the Catholic Church has been using for a very long time, and it's the Priest-penitent clause. Now, if you're not familiar with that clause, in the Catholic Church, when someone commits a sin and they want to confess it, they go to confession and speak to a priest, what they say to the priest is considered to be completely confidential, even to the proper authorities. Now, of course, there are exemptions. Of course, there are times when no matter what a person said to a priest and no matter how confidential it's supposed to be, the law is still allowed to use those words against the person confessing. But in many cases, it is allowed to stay confidential. Now, Jehovah's Witnesses, the same group that has been railing for years against the Catholic Church and calling them Babylon the Great and part of apostasy Christendom, wants to use the same clause. They feel that they are allowed to not report people who have committed child sexual abuse to the proper authorities because they want to use this priest and penitent clause. I thought this was particularly disgusting, hypocritical, and interesting because when I was one of Jehovah's Witnesses, I loved reading the Proclaimer's book. You know, I was a true believer and I loved reading the history of the organization. And something that came to my mind immediately when I heard about Jehovah's Witnesses trying to use this clause was that Jehovah's Witnesses in their literature, and especially in the Proclaimer's book, always made clear that Christendom was terrible for having a clergy and a laity class. But somehow, now Jehovah's Witnesses feel it's okay to use a provision in the law that has specifically to do with the clergy and the laity class. If you don't believe me, page 35 and 36 in the Proclaimer's book, I'm going to post a link to that as well. Under the chapter, The Great Apostasy Develops, talking about how Christianity changed in the 1st and 2nd century, according to Jehovah's Witnesses, the clergy and laity class is considered apostasy. But somehow Jehovah's Witnesses want to use the priest and penitent privilege in court. If that isn't disgusting hypocrisy from a group that claims to be true Christians, I don't know what is. But long story short, the Jehovah's Witnesses have failed again at proving that they were true Christians, proving that they care about the safety and welfare of children, and proving that they do anything at all of any use when it comes to protecting children against child sexual abuse. So again, I'm going to post links to all of these things I've mentioned in the description for the video. I want you to take a look at these articles. I want you to take a look at these videos. Do your research. Don't just take my word, of course. And please Talk to Jehovah's Witnesses next time you see them doing witnessing at a cart. The next time they come to your door, talk to them about the child sexual abuse issue. Listen to what they say to you. Point out these articles to them. Bring them up on your phone. Watch them squirm and look for excuses that you would never accept from your child's school or from your child's summer camp or from your child's daycare. But somehow, an international religious group is supposed to get by with this lax attitude towards child sexual abuse. Terrible. Well, this has been another episode of the Irregular Pioneer Channel. Again, I'm your host, Matt. Thank you for joining me. Please like and subscribe to the channel. And please, everyone, be well. Take care. We'll see you again very soon.